Shame on you for firing someone who simply wanted to help a veteran. Linda was a kind-hearted hairstylist who offered a free haircut to a struggling veteran. Her generous act of kindness cost her job, but it didn't go unnoticed. Just 30 minutes later, an unexpected visitor arrived at the salon, changing Kelly's life forever. Hi everyone, welcome. Today, I'm excited to share a new story with you. Let's dive in. Linda, a young woman in her late 20s, worked at a beauty salon. While her peers pursued high-flying careers, Linda chose to become a hairstylist, a passion she had nurtured since childhood. Despite her parents' disapproval and insistence on a more traditional career path, Linda followed her heart. She dreamt of one day owning her own salon, even though the job offered modest earnings. When she was just 19, Linda's parents kicked her out of the house for refusing to attend college and study engineering, as her father had wanted. Fortunately, within weeks, she found a job at Mara's beauty salon, where she worked for 6 years. Linda lived in a small town where everyone knew each other, and news spread quickly. Mara's beauty salon was one of the largest in town, with over 50% of the townspeople getting their hair done there. But it wasn't just the salon's size that drew customers, it was Linda. She was passionate about her work, always cheerful, kind, and had a great sense of humor. Linda made sure every customer felt welcome, providing top-notch service and remembering the names of her clients and their children, if they had any. She genuinely cared about the people she served. One summer day, Linda arrived at the salon around 8:00 a.m. as usual, but decided to make a quick stop at a street coffee stand first. At the stand, she bumped into Jason, a man in his early 40s who had once served in the military. Everyone in town knew Jason's story, how he struggled to adapt to civilian life after years of service, and how his wife had divorced him shortly after his return. Jason's life had spiraled downward after the divorce. He became depressed, lost touch with reality, and was unable to keep a job or take care of himself. Most days, he relied on the kindness of the townspeople for support. That day, like many others, Jason was dressed scruffily, with unkempt hair and beard. "Hey Jason, how are you doing today?" Linda asked in an excited tone as she spotted him at the coffee stand. "Hi, Linda. I'm fine. It's great to see you again," Jason responded with a smile. "Want some coffee?" Linda offered. "Oh, I wouldn't want to be a bother," Jason replied hesitantly. "Come on, we're friends, Jason. Why would you be a bother?" Linda chuckled, then turned to the coffee vendor and asked for another cup of coffee for Jason. Shortly after, Jason's coffee was ready. The two of them grabbed their cups and began walking toward the salon, which was just a short distance away. As they walked, Linda and Jason chatted about everyday things, and Linda could tell that her small gesture had lifted Jason's spirits. He sounded happier, and his smile came more easily. When they arrived at the front of the salon, Jason thanked Linda again for the coffee and was about to say goodbye when Linda stopped him. "One more thing, Jason. If you're free later today, why don't you come by the salon? I'll give you a haircut. It's on me," Linda said with a wide smile. "Oh no, you don't have to. You've already done more than enough," Jason said, taken aback by her generosity. "I insist, Jason. It's on me. Come by whenever you're free. I'll be waiting for you," Linda replied warmly. "Thank you so much, Linda. I'll come by later today," Jason said gratefully before walking away. After opening the salon for the day, Linda couldn't stop thinking about Jason and how much his life had changed. Once a man the whole town admired and looked up to as a hero, Jason's life had taken a downturn after he left the military. Later that afternoon, Linda had just finished attending to a customer when Jason walked into the salon. As soon as she was done, she asked Jason to sit down, wrapped a neck strip around his collar, and draped the cape over him. About 10 minutes into the haircut, Linda's boss, Mrs. Sidney, a woman in her early 40s, walked into the salon. Known throughout the town as a rude businesswoman who cared only about money and never about others' feelings, Sydney's presence immediately changed the atmosphere in the room. At first, when Sydney saw Linda attending to Jason, she didn't say a word. Instead of heading to her office, Sydney took a seat near Jason, silently watching them. When Linda finally finished cutting Jason's hair and shaving his beard, Jason thanked her sincerely and was about to leave when Sydney spoke up. "Jason, where's your payment?" Sydney demanded. Linda quickly intervened. "About that. You can take it out of my paycheck. I wanted to treat him." "No, Linda. I can't allow that," Sydney replied coldly. "I didn't build this business by giving away free haircuts to people who can't afford to pay." "No, ma'am, you're mistaken," Linda explained. "Jason didn't come here on his own. I invited him to give him a haircut. I saw him earlier today, and I don't care if you saw him today or 10 years ago." Sydney cut her off, her voice rising. "If Jason doesn't pay for that haircut, then you're fired." "Please, it hasn't come to that. Let me," Jason began, trying to mediate. "There's no need, Jason. You can go ahead. I'll join you shortly," Linda said calmly, reassuring him. With a heavy heart, Jason reluctantly walked out of the salon. As Jason left, some townspeople noticed he looked unusually downcast. Concerned, a woman approached him. "Jason, is everything all right?" "No, everything's not all right," Jason replied in a sad and defeated tone. "The nice salon lady gave me a free haircut, and her boss fired her for it." "You're not serious, are you?" a man standing nearby asked, shocked. "I know Linda. She's a good person. Why would her boss do that?" As Jason tried to explain what had happened, more people gathered around, curious about the commotion. When they heard the story, their outrage grew, and soon the news spread like wildfire through the town. Somehow, the news reached the mayor. Hearing that Linda was being punished for her kindness, the mayor decided to take action. Meanwhile, back at the salon, Linda was cleaning up, unaware of the storm brewing outside. She had no idea that Jason had told so many people about her boss firing her for her act of kindness. 30 minutes after Jason left the salon, the mayor walked in with Jason by his side, just as Linda was about to grab her bag and leave. As soon as Sydney, Linda's boss, saw the mayor, she rushed over to greet him. Outside, Linda and Jason could see a crowd gathering behind the mayor. "Welcome, Mr. Mayor. To what do we owe this pleasant surprise?" Sydney asked, trying to sound cheerful. But the mayor ignored her, turning to Linda instead. "Hello, Linda. Is it true that your boss fired you because you gave Mr. Jason here a free haircut?" the mayor asked. When the mayor asked, Linda noticed her boss subtly shaking her head, signaling Linda to lie. But Linda stood her ground. "Yes, Mayor, that's true. I was just about to leave before you walked in," Linda answered honestly. "For your kindness, Linda, the townspeople, and I have decided to reward you with a little something. This is to show our appreciation for your compassion and to encourage you to continue being the good person you are," the mayor said, handing Linda a certificate of recognition and a large white envelope. Linda's joy soared as she received the certificate and took a photo with the mayor. When she later opened the envelope and saw the amount of money inside, she could hardly contain her happiness. Grateful for the support, Linda made a decision that would change her life forever. A few months later, Linda opened her own beauty salon with the money she had received from the mayor. The townspeople, eager to support her, stopped going to Mora's beauty salon and chose to get their haircuts and braids done at Linda's new salon. The overwhelming success led to an expansion, with a second branch opening soon after, and Linda's income continued to grow. As for Sydney, she was forced to close her beauty salon after losing all her customers. She learned a hard lesson, but by then, it was too late to save her business. The true currency of life isn't money. It's the kindness we give and receive. Invest wisely. If you love this story, tap that like button and subscribe to the channel for more. Let us know how this story made you feel with a single word in the comments.